Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. I am one of two commentators for tonight, Malk. With me, as always, is Tim. How you doing, mate? You all right?
How you doing, Malk? It is wonderful to be here once again with you for the Invictus Racing League, Performance League, and new track today, Zandvoort.
Absolutely, and it's one of those. It's a brand new track for Invictus Racing League as well. So it's first time at the Dutch Grand Prix. So it'll be good to see how the guys can try and capitalise as well. But what I love about this track is, have you been on a theme park before, Tim? And you've been on a theme park. You've been on a roller coaster ride. This is the track to be.
And I could not agree with you more, Malk. My favorite part is definitely the final corner, that high-banked right-hander. And even though it's going to the right instead of the left, it does very much remind me of tracks that you see NASCAR race on in person, which, you know, is sort of like my home of sorts and what I'm more used to. So it was like a nice little bit of familiarity to me when I first jumped in a car and ran around the track on here. So I'm very excited. I'm sure that the drivers love it. If they don't, then I feel really bad for them because they're about to be thrown into the deep end anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's if you haven't driven around the Zandvoort track at all in any game, not alone the F1 game as well, it will be a bit of a struggle time there. So from the times that I remembered, obviously from the F4 League yesterday, a good time around here is in the 109s. So 109.2 was the qualifying lap there. So it all depends on how the guys can try and hook a lap. If they don't hook a lap, they'll struggle massively, obviously. But with round here, I think if you get into the 109s, that'll be a fantastic achievement. Don't you agree, Tim?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I mean, it's a short track and it's a short lap, but definitely somewhere around the 109s would be the best time that these drivers need to shoot for, or quicker. I mean, of course, if they can go quicker, but realistically, probably around 109s. And, oh my goodness, are we going to have a wet qualifying session?
It looks like we could have the qualifying session to kick off here. And that is very interesting stuff here as well. That's what we love to see in the Performance League tonight. Just to recap, guys, this will be the full qualifying scenario. And it'll be good to see how the guys can capitalise it. And you do not want to have a wet qualifying. Obviously, you just do not want to mess about with it too much here as well. And it'll be good to see how can push on as well from this track here. Good evening to everyone that's joined the session. Hope everyone's all okay and well. If you just joined, I would not be in this position. Would you agree, Tim?
I would not want to be in this position either. Running around Zandvoort is hard enough in the dry, so running it in the wet is also, well, for lack of better words, we're just going to go ahead and say oof, oof, and oof. So it's very unfortunate for these drivers. Of course, that's not going to really give us much of a question as far as what tires they're going to choose. It looks like for some reason Scopefielder is still selected to have the soft tires on, but he's still in the garage, so we don't have to worry about that. The first driver out is Cliffy in the Williams, and he is on the intermediate tires, of course, as to be expected. So we'll see what kind of a lap time Cliffy can set down here once he gets back around. We also have Niels and Nightshades on their outlap as well. So Nightshade's been showing some fairly decent pace here recently. Cliffy, of course, has as well. Thus why he's in the Williams so far. Cliffy actually, I believe, got the pole in one of our preseason races at Silverstone. And so he is just kind of trying to stick it to everybody and show us what he is made of. Of course, Cliffy in the point standings is doing relatively okay, considering that he is leading the points by about 13 point gap to Moreno in second, and a 15-point gap to Scopefielder in third. So I'd say that so far Cliffy's season has been doing very, very good for him.
Absolutely. I do apologise, Tim, what you was talking away there. So let's see how Cliffy can try and do here at this point in time here as well. And looking at it from Cliffy's point of view, obviously he's the Drivers' Championship leader for the Performance League, and it'd be good to see how in that Williams car, in the new allocated car for the next 2 races, this one and also the Shanghai Grand Prix here as well. If you're not new to the full qualifying scenario, we will have, obviously, for Q1, the top 15 go through. Q2 will be the top 10 to go through, and then the shootout in Q3 as well. So, with Cliffy in the Drivers' Championship leader as well, do you think there'll be a lot of pressure on his side, but also some good chance for some of the drivers to try and catch up as well?
I feel like it'd be easy to say yes, that there is pressure on him, but I think that the ideal situation for him being the points leader right now is to not think about being the points leader. Just think about how to be fast, and the points will take care of themselves. Jeff Gordon, the NASCAR driver, once said that he doesn't worry about points, and then he doesn't worry about statistics and records. He just worries about winning races, and he figures that the points part will take care of themselves. So I think that that's the best strategy that any driver can implement when it comes to racing competitively, and I think that that goes for Cliffy just as well, because he's got a decent lead. He's got about 13 points on Moreno, as I said. So it's not a horrible gap, but it's definitely not an insurmountable gap for Moreno. And if Cliffy had a bad race today, Moreno could theoretically take the points lead today. So he does have to be on his toes, and he has to stay alert. But he's got to be careful to not let that pressure get to him. And like I said, not think about being the points lead. Just think about, how do I be fast?
Absolutely, and that's the massive key there in the title for the Performance League as well. It's just, obviously everyone's got different pace, different momentum here as well. Just watching Prime now doing his your favourite part of the track here, Tim. Your favourite part of the track here, of the NASCAR feel. Straight line speed there as well, and it looks like Sab has lost it at the last corner there as well, and Prime has moved up to second place with a 121.5, but I tell you what, Nigel Gash, a 121.4, Tim.
121.4, so that is the pole time so far. Of course, Cliffy, he had a good lap going, but he clipped the grass just about a lap ago, so he ended up 131.8 on his first lap. He is on his second flying lap now. I've been watching him to see if he's going to pull into the pits or not. So now he's going around the final corner, that high banked right-hander, and he gets a little bit loose, but keeps it off the wall. He's going to stay out for a lap. He's going to cross the line. Where does he end up? Pole position, a 121.002 for Cliffy.
Absolutely brilliant stuff there. Sorry about that, Tim. Like I said, from this point of view here as well, great time there from Cliffy. He needed that because his last time was just not great at the moment there, but still, brilliant time with 121 flat there in a Williams car as well. That's pretty impressive stuff there. So the Drivers' Championship leader putting his foot marker in the pole position at the moment in Q1 here as well. But looking at those times there, Tim, I reckon it's going to be really close to someone who's going to try and miss out by probably by a tenth or two. Do you agree?
It's very possible, actually, because so far throughout the top 5, with the exception of Cliffy, we're seeing some very close times, and that can, and I don't really suspect that to change over the next 12 minutes or so. And Scopefielder, of course, I'm watching him now. He's in the Williams. So with Cliffy being able to set a 121.002 in the Williams, I almost wonder if maybe that bodes well for Scopefielder, and that if he has the pace in the wet conditions here, that maybe he could actually make it into Q2 or maybe even Q3 and get a good lap time, even though he is in the Williams.
It could do, but it's just, I don't know. He needs to get that. He needs to get his boost back. He really needs to get that boost back. I mean, don't get me wrong. Last season he was one of those contenders for the Drivers' Championship, and you would agree with that, Tim, as well. But Samu, on his day, he was like unbelievable pace and unbelievable drive from him as well. But looking at it from this point of view here now, I can't see. I don't know. I can't see Scope push on in this track. If he can match Cliffy, fair play, he will do it. But it's just, he just needs that oomph. Do you agree, Tim?
Yeah, he really does. And, Scopefielder, we saw him struggle a lot last year, but nonetheless, as you said, he was or last season rather, but he was still a championship contender. But of course, as you said once more, that Samu was just really good on his day, and he had, I think, 2 or 3 wins in a row at one point. But look at this, Scope Filter riding to the top of the board, a 120.789 for Scope. So I think that answers our question. He might be fast here today.
Absolutely, but before that, Nightshades did get pole position by 2/10 while we was watching Scope Fielder. So Nightshades did a brilliant time there as well. But Scope, who I did say need that oomph to push on here to try and challenge for the Drivers' Championship, and it does show, which I'm very surprised to be fair, because I did not expect. Obviously, the Williams, with the Williams car with that straight line speed would help as well. But it's that tricky. It's that tricky end of the the start of the second sector, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah, it really is. In fact, I'm watching Scope Filter go through here behind O'Steven now, and looking at these corners, I really don't think that there is one corner in the second sector that I can hit spot on consistently. It's just such a difficult section of track.
Absolutely. Well, funny enough, as we was talking about what's going to happen with the qualifying scenario here, because Sab already DNF'd during the qualifying, he's technically out of Q1. But Prime, who had a great time with a 121.5, unfortunately he's had a crash there. And also, O'Steven had a crash as well, same place as where Sab was as well. So, not great day for the Mercedes crew.
Yeah, definitely not. And even the Racing Point of Vulcanus Prime, as you said. So I don't know what happened. I wish I could have seen it, but very unfortunate for them that they are going to be out of this qualifying session, and highly doubt that they're going to be making it to Q2 now as well. So I guess that their qualifying day is done. They're going to have a lot of ground to make up in the race. But while we were talking about that, Cliffy actually set the pole time once again with a 120.4, and he did it on 4-lap old tires. So that just goes to show that in this qualifying session, if the remaining 2 are wet as well, that these drivers can stay out for a little bit longer on these tires and still have the pace, which, is obviously to be expected since they are the intermediate tires. But just thought that it was a interesting little tidbit. So Scope Filter is second with a 120.7, Nightshades a 120.8, Scott Bugner a 121.4, and fifth is Nitro Gash with a 121.4 as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And just to recap as well, I wouldn't be surprised if people retire right now, because the reason being is, obviously, we mentioned about Sab had the DNF earlier on. So either time that we would have seen, we'd have liked to see what would have happened in the cut-off point. But it would be good to see what time we would expect to hit for the drivers to hit in as well. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next few minutes we'll probably get quite a few drivers retire already in Q1, Tim. Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But now Scott Bugner, 120.6, the second fastest time on the board. So some of the drivers that we saw being fast last season but have yet to really show something this season, they're starting to show something now. Because Scott Bugner, he won, I believe he almost won Spa last season before we had some issues to where that race had to be postponed. And he was always very fast. I think he even finished P3 in the championship standings in the last Performance League season. So, Scott Bugner showing that he's back to form in P3 so far. And we'll see if he's able to hang on to it. Of course, with this being Q1, he's going to have to do it 2 more times as well. But looking good so far.
Absolutely. But Samu with a 120.1. So that's a cracker of a time from the Drivers' Championship winner from last season as well. So, obviously, Samu's had I don't like to have the word bad start, shall we say, but he's having a really, what do you call it? I know it's a bad start, but it feels like he needs. It's same with Scope. He needs that oomph to get his Drivers' Championship title defence back up and running. But from your side, Tim, I don't know, what do you think's happened to Samu?
I think what's happened to Samu is that he was just able to find a little bit of speed and shoot up there with a 121.1, as you said. But I'm also noticing that the track is starting to dry up. I don't think it's raining anymore. So with that surface starting to get dry, I think that the times are starting to get a little bit quicker. Of course, that'll only last for so long before drivers have to pit and put on a dry set of compound tires, which it looks like Nitro Gash and Niels Barca have actually decided to do. So we'll see what happens there. But Samu, after getting the pole, is going to dive down into the pits. We'll see if he eventually comes back out and tries to set a faster time, because Nitro Gash is coming out on the track now, just now exiting the pit lane on the soft tires. So we're going to be looking for him to probably set the provisional pole time just because of it being the soft tires. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. It's not necessarily a guarantee, but of course with the softs being so much faster than the intermediates, I would imagine that he'll be improving his position at least.
Absolutely. So you are right. We could see the provisional time from Nigel Gash here, and if I remembered it right, Nigel Gash, who had nearly had the pole position in the F4 last night as well. So, but 109.3, I believe. So, either way, from Nigel Gash's point of view, he had a bit of mistakes left, right, and centre from last night's race, but I'm hoping he rectified those mistakes and push on here to do well here in the Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix as well. Good evening to everyone that's joined the session here. I hope you like what you see so far, guys. If you are just joining for the Q1, it has already been settled, because obviously Sab had the DNF earlier on due to the last corner incident there. Well, there's that incident. He was just probably hit the wall and just lost the wheel. Same with, well, Steven will not go off Q1. He will still be in Q2. Same with Prime and everyone else above, because it's the top 15 that go through in Q1. But looking at those times there, and with Nigel Gash do the proper lap in here. So what time? I told you a provisional time from the F4, but what do you think the time will be in this track here tonight, Tim?
I think with Nitro Gash, we're going to see about a 110.1 starting out, because it is a relatively green track, as we just had a rainfall. So we'll wait and see. Of course, he is purple in the first sector. Of course, that is to be expected with him being on the soft tires. His car-allocated teammate of Cryptox, also in a Ferrari, as I said, is also on his flying lap, so he might be a contender for the provisional pole with just over 3.5 minutes remaining.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go back to Nigel Gash to see what time he would do. He is purple on second sector. Scott Buckner has retired from the session. So just be good to see what time the guy's going to try and do here. So Nigel Gash will probably not going to hit the 110s, probably about 113s, a 13.5. A 1 minute 13.5 from the softs there. He must have made mistakes here and there, but good time there from Nigel Gash, who's in pole position there, Tim.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to be in the pole position for long. Cryptox is purple in the second sector. I'm not sure where he stacked up in the first sector, but the third sector is such a short little part that we're about to see where Cryptox lands up now, going through that very high-banked right-hand corner. Coming onto the straightaway now, Cryptox will cross the line. He's going to be quicker, but by how much? 111.1 for Cryptox, provisional pole in Q1.
Absolutely. So fair play to Cryptox, who had a podium last night as well in the F4. So himself and Nigel Gash in the top 4 from last night. They're keeping that momentum going in the qualifying itself here. Cliffy has retired from the session here, so we've got 2 minutes 10 left here. 2 minutes 10 left here of the qualifier. So the top 3 still on what do you call it? Still able to try and do some more laps here. But also Nightshades and Hailstone and also Sammy, obviously, they're all in the pits. Nightshades and I believe there was someone else that had retired in the pits here. So there's no point in doing any more laps. That's the time that we might be expecting to see. Probably between 111s and 113s, Tim.
Yeah, and I think you're right on that, Malk. And it doesn't really look like, as you said, that anyone else is going to come out on track. So what we see is definitely what we're going to get. So on to Q2 once we run the clock out. Who is your pick, based off of what little you're seeing here, who is your pick for the overall pole position once we get to Q3?
So in Q2 pole position. That's tough, actually, because obviously you need that great engine, obviously. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of the Ferraris that you've just seen there from Cryptox and Nitrogas, I wouldn't be surprised if they emulate what they did in the top two here tonight. But don't write off Samu, Cliffy, Scope and Scott battling out there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those four can try and sneak into the top three here tonight, Tim. How about you?
I'm thinking that we're going to see Williams on top of the board when it comes to Q3, because as you said, Cliffy and Scope Filter, they're 4th and 6th right now, and it just, as you were saying earlier, it just seems that Zandvoort is really a track that relies a lot on top speed rather than a high downforce setup, especially going through that final corner, where it's so high banked, you can kind of get away with having a little bit less downforce. So I think that's where the Williams is really benefiting. So I would not be surprised if Cliffy or Scope were able to get the pole position as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we're about to stop the qualifying of Q1. So that's what you see is what you're going to get as well. Here are your qualifying Q1 scenario here for the Dutch Grand Prix for the Invictus Racing League. The performance that you got Cryptox in P1, Nitrogas P2, Samu 3rd, Cliffy 4th, Scott 5th, Scope 6th, Nightshade 7th, Barca 8th, Hailstone 9th, Moreno 10th, Aaron Gispens 11th, Colin is in 12th, Matty 13th, Prime, O'Steven and Sab Prime, O'Steven and Sab are off with DNFs or no times at all. So it'll be, but they were in red, so I don't know if, because normally when you do the top 15, there's normally the 15 that stay on. So I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised if those two, so what they're trying to do, okay, I know what they did. If you're in top 16, obviously it'll be 3 in, 3 out as well. So again, another fault from that side as well. Hopefully it won't do that again. But from that point of view there, Tim, so technically, from this point of view as well, just trying to get the settings up. So instead of the top 15, we're at the top 13 here. So unfortunately for Prime and for O'Steven as well as Sab, they've all gone out of Q1 due to DNFs during that stint there as well. Tim.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I can't say I agree with that. Unfortunately, though, it's not within our control, so it's just how it's going to have to be. We see Nightshades, though, out on track, as well as the Alfa Romeo of Niels Barca. And dry qualifying session this time, so both drivers on the soft compound of tires. So now we're going to really see what kind of lap times we're going to be expecting in the race here today.
Absolutely, yeah, it was just a fault from our side here as well, because obviously they crashed the car, so they cannot carry on with Q2. And thank you to Finn, who's just commented on that as well. So hopefully we'll rectify that a bit more better next time there from our sides. So here we go in Q2 of the Invictus Racing League performance. We're just watching Nightshades doing his lap in here now. So no more wet conditions. And here we go. What can he do here through this bit here of the lap here? Come up to the 3rd sector. This is the part we absolutely love here, Tim. The NASCAR themed. We feel like you're on a roller coaster ride here, Tim.
Yeah, we're going to watch Niels Barca start his flying lap now as he goes into turn 1. This is a corner that you can really carry a lot of speed into, but you also have to be so very careful to nail it right and especially hit that apex. Otherwise, you're in for a bad time. And in this very tight left-hander, the banking helps you out just a little bit. However, you still got to hit it just right, just like turn 1. And then you got a very fast sector coming up through here, and this is the sector that I really have a lot of issues with. You can carry a lot of speed in this right-hander that Niels Barca is going through, and it's just so unfortunate for me because it's hard to carry all that speed and still stay on the track. But Niels Barca did just fine, as we're seeing now. And then, of course, as you said, the second sector, Malk, which is the most difficult part of this entire track. Each and every corner is just a hassle. But Niels Barca getting through there just fine as well. Let's see where he ends up. So far, he is purple in the second sector. Of course, he is the first driver on his timed lap. But it looks like Nightshades went through there, and he still remained purple. So Niels Barca might be on the provisional pole. Going through Sector 3 now, we got that right-hander high bank coming up. There it is, going past the grandstands, and now onto the straightaway. Niels Barca going to cross the line here in just a moment. Did he hit the wall? I don't think so, but a 111.0 for Niels Barca.
brilliant time there from Barca, but I have to go back to Night Chasers did a 111.2. Hailstone did a 110.9. No, Colin, EY2141. Aaron J. Spencer's got a pole position time there. It was just going like a domino effect there as well, Tim. So the times are coming in now. So just to recap, in Q2, you've got to have the perfect time here if you for the tyre wear. So wherever tyres you decide and you're in the top 10, that's where the tyres you will start off with. So if you've got a medium tyre and you get into the top 10, that is a perfect moment for yourself, because that will be the tyre that you'll be starting on, not the softs. But from looking at there, the Hailstone, who's one of those drivers you need to watch out for as well, Tim, because he on his day can be a very pacey but very good driver there.
Yeah, and I'm going to be watching the Hailstone if he is able to get in the top 10 with that medium tire, because I think that a one-stop strategy around here can really be beneficial if you can pull it off. So starting on the mediums and going to the softs could be a very good way to end up in victory lane at the end of the day. Of course, talking about pit stops, what do you expect to see? Because I expect to see at least a few drivers try out a two-stop strategy.
The two-stop strategy would work if you got a safety car, and from the experience that we have seen during the leagues this season, there was about an average of 2 safety cars in each league, average of 2 safety cars. But yeah, it'd be good to see. It's a one stop. You can do soft to hards. That's the way forward. You can go from softs up to lap 10 and then all the way for the hards. You can do one stop for the mediums and hards, but it all depends on that in that situation as well. So it's very tough. You can do a 2-stop if you wanted to, but you will lose out a bit on time, obviously. But from what I've seen there, it looks like the 1-stop is the way forward, unless the safety car, then yeah, 2-stop would happen, Tim.
All right, well, we'll see. And whoa! Who was that? That was Nightshades, who got very loose, clipped the dirt. He was on probably a pretty good lap, but not anymore, so he's going to have to pull into the pits and get that fixed. Of course, I was watching Nightshades a few corners ago. He clipped the grass, but it actually helped him enter the corner. And then this time he clipped it again, I guess just going a little bit too wide, and he got into the wall.
Absolutely. Just while I was watching from Scope's point of view there, and he did a 110.9 on the soft set, so that's a cracker of time there from himself there. But let's have a look at where is Cliffy. I can't change. I can't change the driver. So here we go. Cliffy can try and push on here as well. He's on the medium tyres here as well. He's just gone past into the first sector. He's not quick on the first sector, so I know he's on the medium tyres, but at least if he can try and get into the top 10, that'll be a fantastic achievement there as well. Now, here's a oh, he's had a bit of a back end loose there as well, so that could cost him massively there with time, probably losing about a few tenths here and there as well. You got yellow flag set to 1, then that might be one of the Haas cars there who's just come out, probably come out of the pits, or maybe just finish off, just let the other Haas driver through. But Cliffy's coming up to the last bit now of the qualifying for Q2 here. Let's see where he can try to on his lap. 10th place, already in the top 10, but not enough to get a bit higher than where the Hailstone or Cryptox are, Tim.
Yeah, and Cliffy, he's where he needs to be right now, but I don't suspect that he's going to stay there, so I think he's going to have to try once again to go out there on the medium tires. I think he can set a faster time on the medium compounds, but he's going to have to try it again, because why NWA Maddie and Scott Bugner both down there without a time set yet? I expect them to be quicker than Cliffy, so he will be knocked down to 12th if they both run a faster time than him. So definitely going to be looking for him to come back out. The question is whether he's going to be on the soft or the mediums. But with those two drivers who have yet to set a time, with just 7.5 minutes remaining, it's starting to show us who's going to be fast here and who's not.
It'll be good to, this is where everything could happen here. If you don't get it spot on, you will lose out massively, as always here. And it looks like Scott did a 111.1 on the soft tyres, so that's a cracker of a time, just into the top 10. It was just knocked Cliffy, the Drivers' Championship leader, off the top 10 here as well. Obviously, in Q2, the top 10 will go through to the shootout of the Q3 scenario here. who's going to be your bottom three, Tim, based on that?
My bottom three, I think it's going to be Nitro Gash, Nightshades, and, you know, that is a tough one. Because Scott's been fast, Cliffy's been fast, and Matty, I'm going to go Matty, actually, because he put a 111.6 down, and it looks like he's not going to be able to recover from that unless he goes on the soft tires. So, going to put that on Matty as well.
Ooh, that's very tough, but never give up on Nitro Gash. Never ever give up on Nitro Gash, because he'll produce the goods out of nowhere. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nitro Gash can try and hook on a perfect lap with the Ferrari around here as well. So, but yeah, we've got 6 minutes 12 left of the Q2 scenario here for the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League as well. If you just joined us, so we've got about 3 drivers out due to DNFs of their cars, so they cannot carry on, obviously, due to their car being crashed out there as well, which was Sab, Victus Prime, and also O'Steven as well. So those 3 drivers will be starting in 14, 15 and 16 respectively there as well. It looks like Nightshades has moved up to 4th place there. Aaron J. Spence did a 109.8. A 109.8 there from Aaron J. Spence there, Tim.
Yeah, and you think that the provisional pole would have been enough for it, but apparently not. He decided to go back out there once again. So Aaron J. Spence might be someone that we need to be watching here today. He might be able to walk away with the win. He's showing a lot of speed, and honestly, I'm surprised. I did not expect this.
I did not expect it from Aaron J. Spence, considering earlier on in the season when the game started, he was struggling massively, Aaron J. Spence. He was absolutely struggling. But somehow, somehow, perfectly, he has had the boost that he needed to get that car be to where he wants to be as well. So, and it's good to see him in the top part, well, the top 3 in the pace that he's had. And I think he did well in F3, I believe. So he did well there as well. So Schofield, he's improved his time in the 2nd sector. Be good to see what he can try to do in the 3rd sector now. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races here as well. And also like the video as well. Moreno's just come out for his pit stop, out of the pits as well. So Scope has done a 110.7, a 1 minute 10.7 there. I think, Tim, the cut-off point, looking at those times, I think the cut-off point would probably be a 110.8. Do you agree with that, or do you think that's a bit too much to say?
That might be just a little bit too quick to say, but we're going to wait and see. Of course, Nitro Gash on his outlap now. I suspect that Matty, yes, Matty is out on his outlap as well, and Cliffy still in the pits, but Nitro Gash Matty out there for one final lap, starting their outlap now. So Ferrari versus Renault. We'll see if either of those can make it into Q3. Of course, Cliffy, I expect him to make it into Q3 as long as he can get out there on the soft tires. Nitro Gash and Matty, of course, stand a good chance as well, but it looks like everyone's going to be starting on the soft tires, at least everyone in the top 10. Because you can see there, it's just a sea of red. So very surprised, actually, to see that more drivers did not try to go for the reverse strategy, because it was the Hellstone that actually set a time on the mediums. But, you know, it looks like he has switched to the soft tires now as well. Well, of course, his time is still on those medium tires, but if he comes back out on the track, he'll probably improve on that.
Absolutely. So it looks like Aaron Spencer Colin has retired from the track there, as well as Moreno as well. So, Moreno has crashed, I believe. Looks like Moreno has crashed there as well. So what can Matty do? Will he try and get into the top 10? Will he try and get into the top 10 here? This will be good, interesting stuff here as well. So, interesting stuff here. Moreno, who's just got out 110.4. So he won't be able to carry on, I believe, as well, unless I'm mistaken there. So he will not carry on in the qualifying itself. But here we go. What can Matty do here as well? He's in 13th place at the moment with 2 minutes 25 left of the qualifying here for Q2. Anything can happen here at the Zandvoort track here, Tim.
Yeah, that he can, and so far I'm watching Cliffy. He's just started his flying lap. This is going to be his final one, of course. So far looking pretty good, going through that left-hander. Now a big lockup in that left front, but hanging on to it in a very good line. That was clean looking. I actually love to watch that. So Cliffy, of course, his best time, a 1:11.338, fast enough for the 11th position at the time being. Of course, he had a little bit of issues on that lap. Now he's 12th, and he's in the gravel. He's in the gravel. He's off, and unfortunate for Cliffy, and he almost clipped Cryptox. Wow, that was close. So, needless to say, Cliffy will not be making it into Q3. Cryptox still might, but that was such a close call.
Absolutely, but Nitrocash is out. Nitrocash is out of the bottom half here, and he's into the top 4 there, Tim. So he's just done what he has wanted to do at this time being here. At the moment here, Cliffy looks like he's guaranteed to be outside of the top 10 here. Let's see how Matty can do it. He's come up to do his one and only final lap here as well. So let's see what he can try and push on here as well. As long as he doesn't do what Cliffy has done there. He's slow on the first sector, Tim. He is slow on the first sector. He looked like he got a little bit wide there. That will compromise a little bit on his time here. He's coming up to the DRS straight here. Oh, I love this helicopter view. Brilliant stuff there as well. Down the straight here. Let's see what he can try and do here as well. 1:11.6. He needs to find 5 tenths from somewhere. He's slow on the second sector. Right, so I don't think, by the looks of things here, I do not think he will improve into the top 10 here. So he looks like he might be outside of the top 10 here, Tim.
Yeah, that he might as well. And he's actually going into the pits. Matty is. Cryptox, he set the 9th fastest time, but now for some reason he's all the way back in 11th. Of course, Niels Barca shot up to 2nd with a 1:10.1. So now the only one that we've got, you know, as an outlier there. Actually, I think there's no one else as an outlier. So I think that what we see is what we're going to get.
Yeah, I think that is the times that we're about to see. I believe Moreno is automatically out. I think it was because of the crash earlier on. So, because obviously the times that we're seeing there a little bit different there as well. So, interesting stuff there. So Moreno, who had a great qualifying in the top 4, top 4, top 3. Looks like he'll be out of Q2 there as well.
And so Cliffy barely made it in, or I shouldn't say barely. He's P6 now. He went out for a second lap, and now he's P6 with a 1:10.6. So it looks like the cutoff is Scott, Bugner, Cryptox, and Matty at the moment.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, Cliffy, fair play to him. Considering what he did earlier on, it didn't look like he was going to have enough. So again, unbelievable stuff there from Cliffy, producing the goods at the last minute as well. So fair play to Cliffy there. For moving to the top 6 there, Tim.
Yeah, very impressive. And it looks like the Hellstone might be out on either a... he is actually on his flying lap, of course. And so we're going to see where the Hellstone winds up. He's on the soft tire, so very surprised to see him decide to do that. Of course, he's going very slow, so I think he realizes that, yeah, he's not going to improve his time. He realizes that he is going to stay in the top 10, so he's going to stay on the medium tires. So that is a good move from the Hellstone. He dives down into the pits, not setting a faster time on the soft tires. So the Hellstone, so far, so good.
Brilliant stuff there from him as well. But can I just say, brilliant time there from RJ Spence as well. So he did a brilliant job to hit the 109 here as well. So wouldn't be surprised if he hit that. Stevens says, did a time thought I had qualified and then crashed out on the next lap as well. So it could be the same for Moreno as well in this situation. But we'll find out in a moment or two. Normally, it's the bottom 3 that go out, and obviously the top 10 will go through into qualifying as well. Just waiting for Nightshades and Scott to get through to retire, and we're about to do Q3 classification as well. But yeah, just have to wait and see what happens here from this point of view as well. Are you enjoying the qualifying here, Tim?
I really am, actually. This particular qualifying session, it has been no lack of entertainment, I'll say that much. And very surprised with Cliffy, I just want to say, for being able to go out there and get P6 after a horrible mistake on his, well, not his first lap, but his first lap of that particular run. Of course, he got very lucky to not have any wing damage, and he even got lucky that Cryptox did not hit him as well. So Cliffy being able to go out there for a second lap and getting P6. So little bit older tires now, and with those tires being the ones that he kind of spun and wrecked on, I imagine that he'll be one of the first drivers to pit when it comes to the race. But that might not necessarily be a bad thing. He'd go for an undercut.
Yeah, I do agree. I think the undercut will be beneficial. It'd be good to see how they can try and capitalise on it as well. But obviously, for the bottom half here, well, the bottom four now, we'll have to confirm in a moment or two. Q2 classification for the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League at the Dutch Grand Prix. Aaron J. Spence in first, Barca second, Colin third, Nightshades fourth, Nitrogash fifth, Cliffy 6th, Samu 7th, Scope 8th, Hailstone 9th, Moreno, who did crash earlier on, but Scott, Cryptox and Matty have all got out of Q2. Tim.
Moreno, very unfortunate indeed for him to crash out right after getting into the top 10. So Moreno going to have to set this next session out. But still, he's starting 10th. It's not a bad day for him, and he can still recover and have a good run. So now we're seeing the 9 drivers who have yet to qualify 12 minutes in this session that they're going to have to get up to the pole. And Malk, both of our Williams cars are in the final Q3 session. So who is your pick pole?
You always do this under a lot of pressure here, Tim. I know what you're trying to do. This is tough, actually, because obviously with Nitrogash in the Ferrari as well, and then the Williams who produced the goods out of nowhere as well. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go for Aaron J. Spence because he's the only one that's hit the 109, so I wouldn't be surprised if he hits the 109s again tonight. How about you, Tim?
You know, you stole my pick. I was going to go for Aaron J. Spence as well because he really shown a lot of speed once the track dried up. So I'm going to say that the Racing Point's going to be top of the board here as well. But I would not be surprised to see, the likes of Scope or Cliffy around P2 or P3.
Yeah, I do agree. Scope and Cliffy, because they, with their F1 pace, the F1 League experience pace as well, it'd be good to see how they can try and push on as well. And from their point of view, it showed this season, obviously from Cliffy's point of view, to produce the goods at the matter of time, and obviously with the allocation to put him in the Williams to see how he can try and do it. And he's producing the goods at the moment in qualifying, but can he try and capitalise on it in the race? That is another thing. But in the top 10, perfect stuff there for him. So the only one that's in the top 10 that's got the mediums, I believe, is Hailstone. So Hailstone is the only one who will start. So if Hailstone can try and get a good lap round here, which I'm just watching him now here, Tim, if he can try and get a good qualifying lap in that McLaren, that'll be even more better for him, because he has impressed me this season. I agree, Tim.
Yeah, I agree as well. So currently watching Cliffy in the Williams, the first driver to start a timed lap, I do believe. So going in a big lockup through that left-hander once again. I think we're going to see that a lot today, is just a lot of lockup. So, Mal, you actually ran the F4 race yesterday, or you actually won the F4 race yesterday. Were you having the same issues in that left-hander to where your left front was locking up, or is it just Cliffy that we're seeing that here today?
The problem is, it depends if the ABS is on or off at the time. So it looks like, because he's doing full, it looks like Hailstone nearly hit the wall there during his qualifying. It's easy enough to do if you're doing no assists as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see loads of lockups, especially at that feels like a roller coaster ride of the track here as well. And the Hailstone did a 110.4. So. And Niels Barca has got pole. No, sorry, 109.9 from Colin there. Brilliant time from him here, hitting the 109s this time instead of Aaron J. Spence from tonight. Tim.
Yeah, and Cliffy coming in fifth, a 1:10.5. I was wrong, and he spins in turn one. So hopefully he gets out of the way quickly before any more come by. But yeah, I was very wrong there that he was not the first driver on a timed lap. It was, I believe, Aaron J. Spence. But nonetheless, Colin is still in first, 109.9. Aaron J. Spence, a 109.9 as well, but it's a 9.6 instead of a 9.2. So Colin and Aaron showing a lot of speed here and going to be battling out for the pole probably for the next 8 minutes. Looks like Scope and Samu are the final drivers who have yet to set a time. Samu about to set a time now. He crosses the line, a 1:10.6, only good enough for 7th. Let's see where Scopefilter stacks up. He is in the first sector still, so it's going to be a while before he makes his way back around the track to cross that line. But so far he's looking good, looking very smooth and stable as I ride on board with him, so we'll see where he stacks up. He is not, I repeat, not purple in the first sector, so that's not good for him, but nonetheless doing at least okay. Looks like he's got a Ferrari in front of him, that being Nitro Gash. Nitro Gash going to pull out of the way and let him by, so good sportsmanship there.
Absolutely. Fair play to Nitro Gash for letting Scopefilter through. Bit of a lock up there from Scope there, so that will lose him a few more tenths there. I do not believe he had purple on second sector, but it would be good to see if he can try and match, if it will get even better than Cliffy's Williams car here as well. So Scope's coming up to the final corner now. Will he try and go back into the pits? No, he teases us there to go straight on there, and he did a 1:10.7 there, Tim.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm very surprised to see the Williams cars. They were so fast in Q1, but now they're just struggling in Q3. They're still fast, but I think that just goes to show how much of an equalizer that the rain really is, because they were just flying in Q1 in the wet conditions, and then once we get to the dry conditions, they're still a top 10 car, but it's not as fast as maybe we were anticipating.
Yeah, you think that from the Williams performance of itself here, but I think it helps with, obviously, with the Mercedes powered straight line speed, which kind of helps on certain tracks on here, but I think it just depends on like through the trickiest corners, should we say, to see where they could try and push on here as well. But fair play to Cliffy and Scope. They're the ones who push on to try and get some more laps in here as well. Just watching Hailstone doing his out lap at the moment here. He's done a 1:10.4 there. So at the moment here, with 6 minutes left of the qualifying here, Colin is in pole position here, 109.922. Aaron J. Spence, 109.965, 400s better off. Sorry, worse off. I'll just try and catch up to Colin there. And Nigel Gash still in the 110.4s. And then between, that is massively gapped there. Obviously 5 turns between second and third, but looking at those times there, Tim, it's only been 3 tenths between third and ninth. 3 tenths. Unbelievable stuff there. And just watching Hailstone out doing his qualifying lap. So I reckon there'll be a few more shake-ups during this last bit of the qualifying here, Tim.
Yeah, and we're about to see if the Hailstone can be one of those shakeups. But going back to the gap that you were talking about, 109.9, and then in third is a 110-pointer. That is about 0.5 of a second, so about half a second separating second and third. Of course, I expect the gap to close at least a little bit when it comes down to race time, but it's just very impressive to see nonetheless. And look at this, though, the Hailstone purple in the first sector. So first sector is purple, and that is after Aaron J. Spence goes through. Of course, Aaron J. Spence on an out lap, but looks like Scopefilter is going to come through as well now. Or no, excuse me, that is Cliffy, not Scopefilter. But Cliffy, I think Cliffy actually made a mistake. So he was off track, so Cliffy will not be purple in the first sector. So far, Hailstone is on for a good lap as he goes through the second sector now, but I don't believe that he was purple in the second sector.
You are right there, Tim. He was not purple second sector because he was a bit slower on his second sector time here. Let's see if we can try and do it as well. If he can try and get into the 110s, 10.1. Cracker of a time there. That is perfect. Perfect for Hailstone because he will start on the mediums here, Tim.
Yeah, that really is. And honestly, if he can get back around quickly, he can still do one more lap if he really wants to. Of course, that'll mean that he has one less set of fresh softs to, for the race. But theoretically, if he can get around the track quick enough, he might be able to squeeze by for a lap, but it's going to be very close.
It'll be very close. to be fair. But it all depends on how we could try and nail the lap. Nail that one lap where you've put all your effort into that car, that setup, that every single bit of detail that you've been practicing on for so many times here throughout this track. And to nail it will be absolutely immense stuff here as well. Just watching RJ Spence now doing his lapping here now. He's a tenth slower. He's a tenth slower on his second sector time. So I would not be surprised if he goes back into the pits and try and get out quickly for another lap here. But I'm just going to try and watch what he's going to try to do. Yeah, he's bad at his lap already. So either way, even if he was trying to go back, he'll still go back into the pits. Yeah, he'll go back into the pits there as well. So let's have a quick glance at Nightshades to do his outlap, Tim.
Riding on board with Nightshades. Look like he's just now entering the second sector, so going to be a while before he starts his timed lap. Of course, this will be his only timed lap that he has time to do, so he's already set one. That's a 110.6. It's good enough for 8th. However, he's going to definitely be looking for the pole, but of course there's 9 drivers here looking for the pole. So that AlphaTauri driver is going to have to really show some speed here if he wants to set up on that top spot and beat Colin's 109.9. Of course, the Red Bull of Colin and the Racing Point of Aaron, both very fast here today. And it's 2 drivers that we were saying we didn't really expect to see on the top spot. But nonetheless, they are there, and everyone else is having to play a game of chase.
Absolutely. So who's going to catch the pole position time there? Will they try and jump their way up to the top? Or will it be like a snake and ladders moment, dropping down through the ladders here into dropping down positions there as well. 2 minutes left here. 2 minutes left of the qualifying here. Can anyone try and stop Colin EY2141 of the pole position time here as well? So we're just watching Nightshades, and also Nigel Gash is also doing his lapping here, and I believe I think that might be Niels Barca. Just gone slow in the second sector into the third there. That I might be wrong here, but here's Nightshades. Nightshades is trying to go into the second sector part here now. This is the part where you have to absolutely nail before the DRS straight. If you don't, you will lose out massively here. Still yellow flags there. That is definitely probably Niels Barca again. Oh, Nightshades is about 2/10 quicker, nearly 2/10 quicker on his second sector time here. So at the moment, he could be 4th. He could be 4th if he nails, or even better, if he can try and match Hailstone. That would be magnificent. Oh, 110.3, Tim.
10.3 for Nightshades. Cliffy, of course, on his outlap, and he is going to be able to make it, so he's going to try one more time to try and get himself the pole position, starting his timed lap now with 45 seconds remaining in this qualifying session. Samu in the Haas also on his outlap, as well as Scopefielder in the Williams, or excuse me, both of them on timed laps, not their outlap. So watching Samu now, because he's a little bit further ahead on the track, he's entering Sector 2 now, was not purple in the first sector, so may not be the best time from Samu here in this Haas machine, and gets a little bit loose around that corner, hangs on to it, but that's going to scrub off quite a few tenths of a second there. So he's got the DRS now going down this straightaway, going to try to improve and salvage as much of a time as he possibly can. So he's entering the third sector now. He'll be able to go around these next 2 right-hand corners, go down the straightaway, and we'll see what time he's got. Of course, it looks like he's got Nightshades trailing him. Of course, Nightshades, as we saw, just set a time, so he is not out on a time lap. He's going to probably come into the pits, but as Samu crosses the line, he does improve a little bit, a 110.433 for the Haas driver.
Brilliant stuff there. Nightshades moves him with a 110.3, but he was 2/10 slower on his lap there as well. Let's see how the Hailstone can try and stop RJ Spence's time. We'll just have a quick glance at what time he would do in the first sector here. Will he try to improve it? He's a little bit quicker on his first sector, so RJ Spence does improve his time, but he misses out by 9 thousandths, Tim. 9 thousandths of a second there. But where's the Hailstone? The Hailstone's coming up to the DRS straight now. Looks like he's having a great exit there as well. He needs to try and find a few tenths here. Oh, it's not purple, but he is improving his time by a few hundredths of a second there. Who's that? That is Nitrogas, I believe. Nitrogas has retired from the pits there as well. So, oh no, the Hailstone will not improve his time here. The Hailstone will not improve his time here, but I would have liked to see what time he would have done. A 110.4 by the looks of things anyway, but unbelievable stuff here during the qualifying for the full qualifying scenario at the Dutch Grand Prix, team.
You know, I'm just going to say I think that was a bit of a ridiculous penalty, but it is what it is. Hellstone winding up in third.
Brilliant stuff. Fair play to him as well. Here are your Q3 classification for the Dutch Grand Prix for the Invictus Racing League. The Performance League, you've got Colin in pole position in first, Aaron Spence in second, the Hailstone in third, started on mediums as well. Nightshades is in fourth, Cliffy in fifth, the Drivers' Championship leader, Nitrogas 6, Samu 7, Barca 8th, and Scopefielder in 9th place as well. So we're about to kick off for the race itself. We normally have the formation lap as always, but before we mention about the race itself, I'm going to do the usual advertisements, guys, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards, the race of tonight. This is the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League, live exclusive on the YouTube channel with myself, Malk and Tim on the commentators box. Not only we're live and exclusive on the Thursday nights here, guys, we're also live on the Monday nights with Gareth and Sab for the F1 League, the Premier League, the top flight of the division, the fastest drivers in that league as well. Make sure you tune in on that as well. F2 also with Harry and Charlie as well. They do a brilliant job as in the commentators box as well. So make sure you tune that on F2 on Tuesday nights at 8 PM. Wednesday nights, you got F3 and F4, double whammy there for the PS4 leagues as well. So that's a cracker of a times there as well on the for the F3 and F4 with Rymac and Jakob, I believe, for F3, and also Jake Warrior for F4 as well. So make sure you do that as well. But also, not only we're live exclusive on the PS4 side, we also got the Xbox side on the Twitch channels on the Sunday nights at 9:30, and also on Tuesday nights as well for the F2 League for Xbox as well. But the first time ever as well, this league, for this season, the PC League is on the Wednesday nights at I believe 8 PM. as well. So make sure if you're on the PC and you want to join the F1 League, do that. Same with the Xbox, join in there as well. And also, guys, not only we're on the YouTube and also on the Twitch channels as well, so make sure you like, follow, subscribe. But also we've got the social media side of Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well, so make sure you also like and follow there as well. But the most important thing of all is check out our InvictusRacingLeague.com. That is the site where it all matters as well. So if you enjoy the racing and you want to join and participate as well, why don't you register, sign up, fill out the apply to race form, and one of the admins will get in contact with you to join in with the league. If you're successful enough there as well. If you do well, you could be joining as a reserve in one of the leagues. Joining in our biggest ever league this season for season 11. Unbelievable stuff there. 11 seasons of the Invictus Racing League, and it's growing even better than ever before. We're about to kick off with the formation lap as well here at the Dutch Grand Prix. So, looking at what you saw there tonight here, Tim, and watching everyone's situations here, what's your expectations in the situation here? Obviously, if you was outside the top 10, I would go for the mediums and then go on the hards, because that'll be the way forward while all the top 10 go in. But looking at it as well, Scope's gambling on the softs, Tim.
Yeah, he is, but I do have a question for you. Why is Scopefielder in 14th, and why is Colin all the way back in 6th when when Comm's actually on the pole? Was he not? I could be completely wrong here, but I'm a little confused on what I'm seeing here.
I believe you are right there. Colin should be in pole position as well. So a bit of a weird situation here as well. So again, we do not know exactly what's happened from this situation, but that is, I don't know why Scope and Colin are in the wrong positions during that qualifying, but nevertheless they'll have to push on here from now on from the position that we're at here as well. So at the Dutch Grand Prix here, Tim, from what you're seeing there in the grid there, it could be the format differently. I don't know. We'll have to get that clarified in a moment or two. But what's your thoughts of your top 3 tonight?
My top 3 is going to be Aaron, Cliffy, and the Hellstone.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I've just had a comment from Finn as well, so thank you for that. I think they had grid penalties from the first Q1, I believe. So that's probably why theirs was massively dropped in positions as well. So a bit of a situation for Scope and also for Colin as well. So either way, we'll have happy to see tonight. But going to go straight to the grid here, Tim. It's all yours.
And here we go. The drivers lining up on the grid, finding their appropriate grid positions, watching the lights, and just waiting and anticipating. And there you hear those itchy pedal feet. You hear those engine driving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights. We are green for the Invictus Racing League Performance League at Zandvoort. Aaron J. Spence leading him down into turn 1, followed by the Hellstone and Nightshade. Your top 3 side by side for second place between Nightshades and the Hellstone. Trying everything they can to get by each other here. And Nightshades just running nose to tail with the Hellstone. Of course, behind them is a little bit of a battle for position between the Williams and the Red Bull. That looks like the Red Bull of Colin and the Williams of Cliffy. So just battling it out here as they go and approach Sector 2 now.
Absolutely. We've got yellow flags on there, so it looks like a Ferrari. That might be Nojgash. Nojgash looks like he got there. Oh my days, someone's went on the grass there. Someone went on the grass there. It looks like Nojgash, I believe, and also Barca's got off the grass on there as well. So not great start there for, well, sorry, Cryptox I do believe there. So Nojgash and Cryptox are both battling out there throughout that grid there as well. But so many battles galore here, Tim. We don't know where to begin here.
No, we really don't. A lot of lockups going through that last corner there. It looked like there was a lockup from maybe Samu and the Haas machine, maybe from Cliffy and the Williams as well. There was a lockup from Cliffy and the Williams, his right front that time around. So going through this high banked right-hander and going to cross the line. Aaron J. Spence going to lead the first lap, and Nightshades, your top 3 at the moment, but it looks like Samu is making his way up through the field and trying to battle with Colin and Cliffy. Of course, Cliffy having a lockup there through turn 1, and then Colin and Cliffy making some contact there. Colin got into the grass, and he's just going to barely be able to edge ahead of Cliffy, but he hasn't cleared him yet. Out of the left-hander, though, he does clear him, so move Colin up a position. Cliffy going to have to give chase now. Yeah, so still watching it from the behind of Colin's driving here as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they could try and battle it out here as well. But fair battle galore here. That's what we absolutely love about this in the Performance League here tonight here, Tim. Yeah, we really do, and so far it is not disappointing. Of course, the Hellstone is going to have to give chase to Aaron J. Spence, who is 2 seconds ahead of him. But the Hellstone's probably not thinking about that so much as he's thinking about Nightshades, who's just a 1/10 of a second behind him. Nightshades, as I ride on board with him, you can see that Hellstone's a little bit better out of that last corner through the 3rd sector. But we'll see if Nightshades is able to gain on him once they get through this right-hander and go down the straightaway. Both cars getting a very good exit, but it does look like the slipstream is helping out Nightshades. Absolutely, but Nightshades needs to make the move done now and dusty, but it doesn't look like he's about to do it in the moment here, because all the Hellstone has to do is just try and pit on lap probably about lap 14, 15 as well. So that'll be the aim for the medium tyres, and then go on to the hards here as well, while all the others are going for the probably about lap 10 of the softs as well. But it's just the strategy to come into play here. So much at stake here as well, and look at this battle here between Nightshades and Colin as well. Unbelievable stuff here, Tim. Yeah, it's unbelievable indeed. Of course, my eye is sort of fixated with the battle between Niels Barca and Samu. At least for a moment, it's kind of calmed down now, but Niels was getting a little bit close to Samu there for just a moment. Thought he was going to be able to get by him, but as you can see there, it looks like Samu's starting to pull away a little bit. So we're going to go back and take a look at Nightshades and the Hellstone once again, because they're still so very close together, and this time Nightshade's getting a better exit out of that corner, so that's going to help him as well. Of course, that's just allowing Aaron to pull away. 3-second lead now on the Hellstone, and I'm almost wondering, is the medium tires that the Hellstone is on actually holding up the pack? Because now Nightshades is going on the inside into turn 1, a little bit of contact made. Is it going to be 3 wide? It was for just a little bit of a minute, but not really anymore. Of course, Colin and the Red Bull going to go by the Hellstone on those medium tires now. Contact again through the left-hander. Still contact. Banging wheels side by side. Wheel to wheel still. The Red Bull versus McLaren. Colin trying to go on the outside, the inside now to the Hellstone. No contact that time, and now Colin finally clears that McLaren, and he's able to set his sights on the AlphaTauri of Nightshades.
What a move! What a move there from Colin EY. Absolutely fantastic move there. Definite wheel banging between himself and Hellstone. But what a driver, you do not expect the overtake to happen at that point of the corner there. But now he's going to try and push onto Nightshades, who could try and challenge on Aaron, I suppose, if he can try and make the move here as well. But what a move there from Colin. Brilliant stuff there from him, Tim.
Yeah, brilliant stuff indeed. It just goes to show that where he did have the pole originally, that he is a force to be reckoned with. It doesn't matter if Aaron J. Spence has an almost 4-second lead. He's going to still work his way up to second and then try, at least, to work his way up to the pole as well, or rather first place position. He's got his sights set on Nightshades, of course. Just 0.8 of a second separating these two drivers, AlphaTauri versus the Red Bull. So next DRS zone that they reach, I would imagine that Colin gets even closer to Nightshades and maybe, just maybe, making a move, but I don't really see that happening just yet because the Hellstone being on the medium tires definitely gave Colin a bit of an advantage. So I think that he's going to have to work a little bit harder to get around Nightshades.
Absolutely, but also, while he was watching that battle there, Cliffy was trying to close it on Hellstone, and he was trying to make the move down the straight there as well. I thought he was going to try and do what Colin J was trying, so Colin EY 2141, which did earlier on as well, but Cliffy just trying to pace that moment there as well. Obviously the DRS should be active already here after lap 3 of each tyre, unless the safety car comes out, and then be another 3 laps after the safety car comes back in as well. But we're on lap 5 of 36 of the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. Live exclusive for you guys here. We've got Aaron J. Spence in first place there. Nightshades is in second. Colin is in third place here. Trying to close in on Nightshades there in second place. Hellstone in fourth. Cliffy. Will Cliffy make the move here as well? It looks like Colin has made the move into second place. And it goes top side here, too wide. Oh, brilliant move there from Colin. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, so Colin up in the second place now and setting his sights on Aaron J. Spence. Of course, it's going to have to be figurative sights because as I ride on board with Colin, I cannot see Aaron ahead at all. He's got 4.6 seconds on the rest of the field, and I'd say that Racing Point driver has got a big smile on his face.
Absolutely. It's a massive grin on the face there, Tim. Massive grin as well, but fair play as well. But so many battles galore. I'm going to have to go back to, well, Massey's moved up to 12th, passing O'Stephen in 13th place as well. So I'm just going to go back from the Hellstone because this is like from between Hellstone and possibly 11th place of Prime as well. There's this massive train here as well here too. I can't wait to see what they're going to try and do again here.
Yeah, it is just amazing what we're seeing here at Zandvoort, and of course, as you said, that this is a new track for Invictus this season, and this is the first time that the Performance League has been at Zandvoort, so far it is definitely not disappointing whatsoever. Gonna take a look at the battle between, and there's some contact actually between Cliffy and the Hellstone as they go through turn 1, just some very minor contact. Cliffy trying to go on the inside of that McLaren, but not able to get the move done just yet. Of course, Cliffy having a lot of lockup still. And I think that this is about the time where the soft tires start to wear.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry about that, Tim. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but Scott, unbelievable move there. Brilliant stuff there from him. He just made the move out of nowhere against Samu, his car teammate for tonight here, and also for next week in the Zandvoort, as also the Chinese Grand Prix as well here. But unbelievable stuff there as well from Scott out of nowhere here, Tim.
Yeah, so we've got basically a 4-car battle, more or less, for the 4th position here. Of course, the closest one to that is the Hellstone and Cliffy. They're still duking it out, but the 2 Haas cars are just kind of waiting in the wings to see if they can find any opportunity to take advantage of here. But Cliffy was thinking about maybe looking on the inside of Hellstone, but not able to do it. Of course, you know, you got to be very careful through those corners just a few corners to go, because you got that long straightaway, and it's a DRS straight. And this is too, but it looks like Cliffy might be able to get around the Hellstone this time as they go into turn 1. They are side by side, and still side by side. The Hellstone with momentum around that outside is going to be able to hang on, but he's not going to be able to stay in front of Cliffy. Move Cliffy into 4th.
Brilliant move there from Cliffy there. He needs to make that move done, because I don't know how long he would have been behind the Hellstone there, but fair play to the Hellstone, don't get me wrong, Tim. Fair play to the Hellstone, who's defending massively in those medium tyres here. But by the time the guys in the softs can try and go into the pits in the next, probably about the next 2 to 3 laps, depending on their tyre wear as well, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hellstone can try and go a bit even more longer and try and get some pressure on the hard tyres as well. But also, the 2 Haas cars, as you said earlier, Tim, they're still battling out this, so we're just going to try and watch that battle there, unless you're watching something else, Tim.
No, I'm actually watching the 2 Haas cars. So Scott Bugner, Samu, Paito just trying everything that they can to get by each other, but of course not wreck out each other, because they do have to pit in the same pit box. It looks like Vulcanus Prime now a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so unfortunate for him. He's running in P11 at the time being, and it looks like he's had some issues because he's went ahead and pitted for the hard tires, and he's got 7 laps on those tires, so they must have had some issues. And the first to blink is Samu going into the pits in that Haas. So now it is Scott Bugner who is chasing down the Hellstone, and I'm surprised that the Hellstone has not been quicker at this point in the race on those medium tires. I expected him to lose maybe a few positions at the start, but it just looks like that his competitors behind him who are on the soft tires, even though that they're on the tires for 8 laps now, they just seem to be swallowing him and catching him at such a significant pace that I almost wonder if starting on the mediums might not have been the best strategy. Of course, he's going to have to see it through now, and he'll likely be pitting from the lead as long as he doesn't get into a wreck that causes him to pit early. So if he's able to stay on his strategy and pit within a selected window, he might still be okay. But so far, I'm starting to have my doubts on the reverse strategy on this track.
It depends. It depends, Tim. Obviously, because he's had a bit of a slow start. Obviously, because of the tyre wear situation here, but he's still within the top 5, Tim. He's still within the top 5, and if he can try and keep that going, if he can try and keep up to Cliffy, that's still impressive stuff here from him, because he will overtake Aaron J. Spence for the lead regardless, because it's normally 23 to 26 seconds of the pit stop anyway. But the undercut will happen here. The undercut could happen here, and there's a bit of a lock up there from Cliffy again. So like I said, Colin has already blinked for the medium tyres here, so oh yes, we're on lap 10, so we are expecting the soft tyres to come in now. We expect the soft tyres to come in right now. But it all depends on how anyone else can try and blink even more further than ever before. But I don't know, Tim, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I would not be surprised if Aaron J. Spence stays out for another lap or 2, depending, of course, on his tire wear, because he's had a relatively calm race. So I feel like he's had the opportunity to manage his tires just a little bit better. So if he can extend his stint for one more lap, it might be beneficial as long as he still has the pace. Of course, he's in Sector 3 now, so we'll wait and see what he does. The rest of the drivers, I would not be surprised to see them pit, especially the likes of Cliffy, who just actually had another lockup going into that corner, and it was the right front locking up. So Cliffy, I do expect to see pitting this time to try to get a new set of tires on there. But the question is, what compound does he go for? Aaron J. Spence did bypass the pits. Nightshades is going into the pits. Does Cliffy go into the pits? No. Cliffy is going to stay out, so Nightshades goes into the pits. Cliffy's staying out. He's in second now. The Hellstone, of course, on the medium tires, we expected him to stay out, and it looks like everybody except Nightshades and Moreno stayed out that time.
Yes, fair, like I said, fair play. There's still lock up there. We've got a 4-car battle here for second place here between Cliffy, Hellstone, Scott, and now Niels Barca as well. And it might be Scope if you can try and push on here as well, but you just don't want to get your eyes off this race itself here, because it's just action-packed galore here. Colin could make a move here onto Sab here for 10th place here. Prime could be closer to Scope for 6th place here, but we are not leaving the position of the 4-car battle here for second place here. My days, this is unbelievable stuff here. Coming up to 10 seconds of the gap here, Aaron G. Spence now. So will Aaron J. Spence, Cliffy scores 3-second time penalty. I will warn you, Tim. Sorry, I will warn you. The front left is the danger point of the tyre wear. That's where it gets loose so much wear during this race itself. Oh my days! Oh, the Hailstone was trying to tease everyone to get into the pits. Who was that? Who was that? That was Niels Barca trying to go side by side with Scott there in the pits there. Very, very strange there. Oh my days. Scope and trying to close in on a Prime here. Volcano's Prime there for second place here, Tim. And I tell you what, I don't know what to say after lap 12 and 36.
Well, it looks like Scope is going for the overcut. That's one thing to say, as he is on 11 laps on those soft tires now, trying to chase down Vulcanus Prime, and it looks like he was actually starting to lose some ground to Vulcanus Prime there. So I'd imagine he's going to be thinking about pitting this time. We'll see if the overcut works for him. Of course, the Hailstone can stay out for quite a while. Vulcanus Prime can stay out even longer because he started on those tires. 11 laps on those hard tires, and he can theoretically go to... what, about 20 or so and still be comfortable?
What, the for Prime, you mean, sorry, or the Hailstone, sorry?
Yeah, for Prime.
So for Prime, the hard tyres can last about over 30 laps, way over 30 laps as well. I know the softs can last about 14 laps fresh. That's the maximum you could do. And also the mediums can last about 20 laps fresh, so over 30 laps. Yesterday, the F4 League, Milam in the McLaren had done 33 laps. You heard me correctly, 33 laps on the hard tyres as well. So I think it is doable if Prime can try and push on with those hard tyres as long as possible, but you don't want to lose out massively too much here as well. Just watching the Scope and RJ Spence battle here between themselves. But is there any battles you're watching so far, Tim?
Well, it looks like Aaron J. Spence is starting to close in on Scope Filter, and surprised to see Scope Filter out still on that on those soft tire compound. I don't know what he's waiting on. He's just losing time now, so Scope really does need to dive down into the pits and get a fresh set of tires on, unless maybe he's waiting on a safety car, but I'm starting to think that that's not going to happen. Aaron J. Spence, though, cutting the corner there. I don't think he got a time penalty or anything. Not even sure if he got a warning, but the car did get a little airborne. So he's got to be careful there to make sure that he, doesn't make a huge mistake and end up in the wall. Of course, now Aaron J. Spence going underneath Scope Filter, and that's going to actually prevent Scope from getting into the pits. And I almost wonder if Scope wanted to pit that time, but couldn't. So nonetheless, Scope is going to have to stay out for another lap, as Colin has set the fastest lap, a 1:13.0 on the medium tires. He is running in 5th, and it looks like he's a man on a mission. Absolutely
fantastic stuff there from him as well, and he's not messing about here. Samu's making a move here on Moreno for 10th place. Oh, I looked like he was going side by side. They were too wide. Unbelievable stuff there from Samu, who's been really struggling this season. He hasn't got that Drivers' Championship winning form that he had last season in the Performance League last season. And I tell you what, he needs to find something quick. He probably need a lot of rocket fuel or something just to get himself back up to the table here. But at the moment here, I can't see that happening. But at the moment here, Samu is trying to close in on Moreno. But while that's going on, Scott and Barca are battling out for 12th and 13th place here, Tim.
Yeah, Scott and Barca just kind of duking it out here, and I suspect that once the drivers ahead of them start to pit, that they will improve their position a little bit more. But as you said, still battling it out for 12th, 13th. And it looks like Barca might be a little bit quicker in the third sector than Scott is. But then once they get to this right hand of this high bank corner, it looks like Scott really has the speed that he needs. And he is using the slipstream on Samu, trying to gain on him. Of course, really can't do much with it as they go through turn 1. Gonna turn my attention now for just a moment. In fact, no, I'm not, because look at that. Scott got a little loose, and that allowed Barca to get close to him. Going through the left-hander now, a huge lockup from Scott Bugner. Loses more time as well. So Niels Barca just trying to find a way to get by him. They're gonna have a DRS straight here in just a few corners time, so we'll see if he's able to get by him once they get to that section there. Of course, that's when they get to sector 2, so it's going to be a little bit there. Niels Barca, looks like that might have been a corner cut. I wonder how the stewards felt about that. Not sure if he got a warning or not, but here comes the DRS straight now. We'll see if Barca can get by that Haas machine of Scott Bugner. There you see the DRS sign. Niels Barca has activated it, but he lost ground. On the exit of the corner, he actually lost ground to Barca. He got a little bit loose and was not able to make the move on Bugner. Wasn't even close. So he's going to have to try once again once they get around this right-hander. Of course, the front stretch, another DRS straight, so we'll see if he improves his time at all. But it's looking like Scott Bugner is quicker than Barca.
Absolutely. So Scott's just put on the higher engine mode here as well, so you need that boost as well, so fair play to him on that. But also RJ Spence moves up to second place. The Prime drops down to third place here as well. So at the moment here, the second and third is one lock to the battle, and also from ninth, another lock up there. That is the lock-up corner there, as what I'm going to call it from now on, because there's so many lock-ups I've never seen for a long time there as well. For Moreno, from Cliffy all the way down to possibly Barca as well, for between 8th and 12th here, Tim.
Yeah, that corner is it's really catching the drivers off guard, I think, and not to mention that you're just carrying so much speed, and it's such a tight corner that you have to slow down a lot. Of course, it being a banked left-hander does help with carrying a little bit of speed in there, but nonetheless, you still have to get there and get around the corner at a fairly precise speed in order to get a good exit. So it's definitely catching these drivers off guard, but I think that at Zandvoort, with it being a new track, that's what we can expect. Lap 17 of 36 now, and Aaron J. Spence has went back into first place because Vulcanus Prime has lost first place. So both Racing Points running 1 and 2. Colin in third in that Red Bull, and he is 3 seconds behind both Racing Point cars. So I'm not sure how Vulcanus Prime was able to lose the lead, but of course, as you can see, he did, with Aaron J. Spence being on fresher, hard tires. So at this point, I think that Prime maybe needs to think about pitting for the mediums and try to extend that second stint out. But I think that he's trying to hold out for a hard to soft pit strategy. What do you think?
He does. He probably needs to do something here. But again, do you reckon he'll try and wait for the guys who are on the hard tyres like Prime, O'Steven, Sab as well, which have not pitted yet? Do you think they'll be waiting for the safety car as well? That's another question as well. But regarding what you're saying, when Prime lost it, they were battling out through the start finish in Australia as of like this now, and Aaron Spencer with the fresher hard tyres went past Prime while we was watching the battle for between 8th and 12th place there, Tim.
Yeah, and I think that some of the guys on the hard tires are going to try to go on the softs, and so they're going to try to extend them as long as possible. But as you said, they might also be waiting on the safety car. And look at this, though. Moreno and Sab battling side by side through turn 1. Moreno and the Renault getting around Sab now. So move Moreno up into 6th place as the Mercedes driver is chasing that Renault down.
Sorry, Tim. There was a battle there between Cliffy and Samu. Cliffy made the move on Samu at turn 3, I believe. That is a cracker of a move there from Cliffy there. But also the Hailstone on the fresher hard tyres here as well. So he should be probably trying to aim at Samu here for 9th place here, Tim.
Yeah, and Cliffy, of course, slightly fresher tires than Samu as well, so I'm sure that definitely played into his hands. But riding on board with the Hellstone now, he's going to have the DRS out of this straightaway. But look at this. Who was that going up on the inside? It's the Haas of Scott Bugner. Contact with the Hellstone, but he's able to hang on to it. But now that allows Niels Barca to get by Scott Bugner. So the battle that we were watching just a few laps ago has finally came to fruition. And Niels Barca has been able to get by Scott Bugner. But there's contact again as Scott Bugner tries to go underneath Barca, but not able to do so. He backs out of it and lets Barca by. That could have been very hairy, and that could have been very bad for both drivers.
Yeah, maddening stuff there from Scott there as well. But you would have seen it a little bit more better than me on that one, because I was trying to watch the battle ahead of Scott there as well. So, but also there's so many battles galore there. I'm hoping Scott will bounce back here. I'm hoping Scott will bounce back as quickly as possible here as well. We're just going to go through the track here as well. We're on lap 1936 here, ladies and gentlemen, for the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. Aaron J. Spence is in pole position in first. Prime is in second. Collins in third. O'Steven in fourth. Nightshades is in fifth. Moreno is in sixth. Sab is in seventh place. Cliffy in eighth. Samu ninth. Hailstone 10th. Which we're watching live exclusive for you guys. Niels Barca in 11th, Scott in 12th, Scope in 13th, Cryptox 14th, Nitrogas 15th, and also Mate for 16th place, Tim.
Yeah, and I'm still watching the battle between, well, really, I guess the battle between Samu, Hellstone, Barca, and Scott. It's sort of like a four-car battle, but they're really just kind of spaced out here. You know, one driver will kind of get a run down a DRS straight or get a good exit out of a corner, but they're not able to really get close enough to make a move around. So there's not really a lot going on, but it does look like Nightshades is starting to close in on O'Steven, and that might be a move that happens soon, as there's actually a lockup from Nightshades. And is there another lockup through lockup corner? No, there is not. We're going to start calling it that, Malk. I absolutely love that. But Nightshades is actually losing ground to O'Steven now. So O'Steven, he is on the hard tires, 19 laps on those hard tires, so that's what he started on. Nightshades is on the hard tires as well, but he pitted for the hard tires, so he's only got 8 laps on them. So with the fresher tires, I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't been able to get by O'Steven already. But as they come up to a DRS straight, this might be his opportunity. It looks like he's got a good entry through that corner, but does he have a good exit? Yes, he does, actually, a very clean exit, but O'Steven just pulling away a little bit further still, so Nightshade's really not able to do much with it, and a lockup through that corner as well. Lap 20 of 36 here. The question is, when will O'Steven and Vulcanus Prime pit for their tires, and what tires will they pit for? If they're going for the softs, then I expect them to stay out for at least 6 more laps. If they're going for the mediums, then they'll probably pit sooner, but as you said, they might also be waiting on a safety car, and if a safety car were to come out, that would play into their hands beautifully.
Absolutely. And Sab's going to the pits after 20 laps of the hard tyres, so he's gambled on the mediums to try and try and get quicker time on the medium tyres as well. But also, with Prime and O'Steven, they need to think about going on the mediums if they want to gamble. But if you was in their position there, Tim, would you rather wait until for the softs, or would you gamble now, like what Sab's done, to go for the mediums?
If I've got the pace on the old hard tires, and I'm going to stay out on the hard tires and wait on the softs, because I think that if you can do that and keep pace, it's going to be hugely beneficial on your part. But if you can't, then, you know, obviously the mediums is the only way to go, because I do not see a scenario where the soft tires last 15 laps around this circuit. So, you know, it's definitely a waiting game. And what's going on now?
The Hailstone. The Hailstone's crashed. The Hailstone has crashed in the second sector, by the looks of things. Anyway, I don't know what exactly happened. I need to have a look from Sab's point of view there. It looked like
he stopped on the straightaway.
Yeah, I'll just watch it. No, he's lost the front wheel. He's lost a bit of the front wheel there from his point of view there. So I'm very surprised we haven't got the safety car yet. So we've got no safety car. So the Hailstone, who had a great start, well, I say great qualifying, shall we say, but he had a bit of a slow start at the start of the race, but he had the pace to try and keep up with the others here. But unfortunately, he's out of the race here, Tim.
Yeah, and with him being stopped on the straightaway like he was, I'm very curious to see what happened. I would love to see his point of view. Of course, we can't, but unfortunate for the Hailstone, he was quick today and could have very well had a top 5 finish if he played his cards right, but not going to happen now.
Absolutely not. I'm hoping he'll bounce back next week. Here. Hailstone trying to close in here. The Nice Shades is trying to close in there as well. You can tell from there. We've got a couple of penalties galore here. We've got Prime, who's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there. I believe Matty had a 5-second one, I believe, as well. So many battles galore here. We're not even. We're on lap 23 of 36 here, and we might have a 2-car battle here. Another 2-car battle there behind Moreno here with Cliffy and Samu. Samu made the move here. Samu's made the move here into turn 1 here. Again, lock-up galore here. It's just lock-up city here at the Dutch Grand Prix here, especially at this corner here now. Again, the smoke. They should be on fire to try and push on here to the top 5 here, Tim.
Yeah, and I think that those lockups are really kind of preventing them from getting the speed that they need to, to just try to go forward and challenge for more position. But I mean, as you said, without assists, there's really not a lot you can do, because, I've run around the track as well without ABS, and it is very difficult to not lock up through those corners. And I think just because you're carrying so much speed around this course that it's almost a requirement.
Absolutely. It's just If you do it, fair play. If you don't, and you still try and learn, that's fair enough. I completely understand. Aaron J. Spencer's got the fastest lap of the race with a 1:13 flat there. So he's on top form there for tonight. But here we go. We've got a couple of battles here, Tim. We need to watch out for here. We got Knight. Oh, Stephen was trying to go side there. But let's go back to Samu and Cliff here. Will Cliffy try and bounce back here against Samu? No, he doesn't. He does not bounce back here. I tell you what to watch out for, actually, Tim. Colin is on the medium tyres, while the others are on the hards, obviously. Colin's on the medium tyres, but something tells me that, as I said, the medium tyres can probably last about 20 to about over 20 laps. Can you imagine Colin will pit again, by the looks of things?
I think he's going to have to. I think that he's going to be doing a two-stop strategy, and he's going to have to pit for the softs there toward the end, because otherwise it's just going to be hard on him to keep those medium tires on the car, especially with him battling it out like he is with Vulcanus Prime, because, you know, the more that he battles with him, the more that he tries to chase him down, the quicker his tires are going to wear. So Colin is playing I think a losing man's game with this pit strategy, but there you see Vulcanus Prime finally diving down into the pit, so I assume that he's going to be taking the medium tires, but we're going to wait and see. And he's actually got the softs ready, so soft tires going on Vulcanus Prime in that racing point machine, so that will get him to the end. It may be a little bit difficult for him on that last lap, but that will get him to the end. That's only 10 laps from now, or 11 rather. So Vulcanus Prime finally pitting after 25 laps on those, or 24 laps rather, on those hard tires. So taking a look now at the battle between Moreno and Nightshades, both drivers 13 laps on those hard tires as they go through Sector 2 now. Nightshades and Moreno, they've been battling out for a few laps here like this, and I thought for a moment Moreno was going to be able to get by Nightshades a while ago, but was not able to do so, and since then it's just sort of been running nose to tail, just kind of hanging out with each other instead of actually trying to race. But, you know, with about 10 or 11 laps remaining, there's really no need to force the issue quite yet, as long as you're within DRS range of the guy in front. Moreno, of course, speaking of DRS, does have it and got a good exit out of that corner that time, a better exit than I've seen a lot of drivers get today, so that definitely helped him. But then he did not have a great set of corners that after the DRS, so that's going to hurt him as well. And as they go through this right-hander, it looks like Nightshades does have better speed through there as well, so Nightshades is now 0.7 of a second ahead of that Renault driver and has the advantage so far.
Absolutely. I need to go back into the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th here. We've got my other battle between Cliffy and Barca and Prime here. Prime on the fresher softs here as well. That's Colin. Colin has avoided Samu's pack here as well, so that will be fantastic. So there, Stephen's got the fastest up of the race here with 1:12.444 here. So Stephen in the freshest soft tyres here as well. I was expecting Prime to make the move here as well, but he's bowing out to Barca, looking at it from his point of view as well. This is absolutely brilliant battles here galore. You just do not want to lose out here massively on lap 26 of 36 here. 10 laps remaining. Well, 11 laps remaining, sorry. It's just absolutely immense stuff here, and I absolutely love it. Moreno could be closer to Nightshades here for second place, and that's still a brilliant drive from him in there. And then goes upside here. Prime's trying to make the move here on Barca here, Tim.
Yeah, he is, and the riding on board with him now. He got close to him at the end of that DRS straight, and he's getting closer still, and he might be able to get him out of this right-hander if he has the entry just right. He does. He's got the slipstream, and he's got the DRS, but he does not have the speed. He is stalled. He's literally stalled behind him and can't do it, but he outbreaks him going into turn 1 and does not make contact. But to the move Vulcanus Prime up into 7th, and now he has Cliffy and Samu to work on, and Vulcanus Prime with those fresh softs definitely moving through the field here. Cliffy and Samu are going to be sitting ducks once Vulcanus Prime finds a way to get around him. However, that is going to be a bit difficult because this section of the track is very narrow and not really a section that you see a lot of overtakes happen. But is he going to try to dive underneath him? No, he is not this time, but I do suspect that he will at the end of the next straightaway, because the next straightaway is a DRS straight. Just got to get around these two corners here. Cliffy, Samu, and Vulcanus Prime nose to tail with Niels Barca rounding out the mix. He's the tail end of that, and there goes Vulcanus Prime around Cliffy's. He's got the DRS straight, but will he to clear him? Yes, he does, but only just before they get to the corner. And now Vulcanus Prime has got his sights set on last year's Drivers' Champion, Samu. And with lap 28 of 36 remaining here, Vulcanus Prime knows that the clock is ticking. This is going to be for the 5th position here. A good point stake on the line here. And he goes underneath Samu, fights up, but will he be able to make a move before he gets down to turn 1? Yes, he does. He has cleared Samu before he even got to the line. So move Vulcanus Prime up into the 5th spot. His next competitor is Colin, but that is 4 seconds ahead.
Absolutely fantastic stuff there, Tim. Absolutely brilliant stuff there on commentary on there as well. And Prime did a brilliant job there. He needed to make the moves done. And now he's shoot off now. He should be pushing on now to try and catch up to Colin there. But while that battle's galore there as well, there's also another 3-car battle here, Tim, which you might love about this, because also we've got Nightshades, Moreno and Colin. EY2141 here. Tim.
Yeah, and Colin J tried to make it on the inside of Moreno, but was not able to do so, or Colin E, rather, not Colin J, my apologies there. Moreno, though, trying to get on Nightshades as well. So both of those drivers, I believe, had a DRS down that straightaway. Colin looks like he's actually having a little bit of trouble with his car. It looks like he's not quite handling up to snuff. Looks like he's a little bit tight through these corners. Moreno's got pretty decent rotation. Of course, Moreno is on the old hard tires, where Colin is on fresh softs. So we're going to see Colin probably get by Moreno fairly quickly. He's got the slipstream and the DRS down this straightaway, but does he send it into turn 1? He does, side by side with Moreno, but will he be able to clear him? It's not clear just yet, but he finally did. He did clear him, so now he's got his sights set on Nightshades for the 2nd position. Nightshades with the lockup through lockup corner there, of course. That tight left-hander. Nightshades just trying to pull away, and he's at this point just trying to hang on and salvage a podium. And I'm not sure if that's even going to be possible. It is, but Moreno, I think, might be a little bit faster than Nightshades if Colin can get by, but so far Colin is being held up by Nightshades, and that's helping Moreno out tremendously, and it's keeping him in this hunt. Of course, Aaron J. Spence is 15 seconds ahead of this battle, so I don't think we're going to see a battle for the lead anytime soon without a safety car. But 2nd place is on the line, podium is on the line, points are on the line, as Colin is down to DRS straight once more, but just cannot get enough speed to get by Nightshades. But will he get by him once they get to turn 1? We'll wait and see. We got a few more corners to go before we get down that home straight, lap 30 of 36.
Absolutely. While this is battle galore, Colin should have the chance to try and make the move beyond 2nd place against Nightshades here. Oh my days! Too wide. We got too wide here. Colin's made the move into 2nd place here. Should perfectly make the move, but that was a nervous a scare there, because both drivers were going onto the right hand side there. But nervous times, desperate times for desperate measures here on lap 30 or 36 here of the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. Absolutely unbelievable stuff there. I believe, you know, you were saying about the Hailstone had the DNF during that DRS straight as well, Tim. I believe it was because he had his DRS stuck at that point and must have messed up there as well. That's what I'm getting the news through the telemetry, shall we say, on here as well. But while this battle is galore here, let's go back to the battle which we've all been watching so far mainly. It's the Samu, Cliffy, Barso, Bogger.
And Matty spun actually. Matty spun in about the same spot that we were talking about the Hellstone spinning. He's running in 15th now, but unfortunate for Matty.
What happened to Matty? Sorry, Tim.
He was going around that corner right before the DRS straight, and I think he clipped the curb and spun the tires, and it just took him around. So Matty not having a good day here at all.
Oh no, so Matty will try and bounce. I'm sure he'll bounce back next week at the Chinese Grand Prix as well. But look at this, Cliffy's trying to make the move on Samu here for 6th place here as well. So let's see what he can try and do here as well. Tim, what's up? What's up?
There was contact, and now a move. Moreno and Nightshades going into lockup corner. It was Nightshades and Moreno. Moreno got into the back of the AlphaTauri. I don't think there's any wing damage that he's got to worry about, but he was going to try to make a move on Nightshades, but now he is losing a significant amount of ground. There might be some wing damage he's got to worry about. In fact, there is. He does not have a left side end plate, so it was almost a battle for 3rd on Nightshades, but now it's just a battle to try and salvage a good day for Moreno.
Absolutely. Fair play to him as well. And looks like Boss has made the move here on Cliffy for 7th and 8th place here as well. But Prime, he's on the prime target of Moreno here for 4th place here. And I tell you what, Tim, this is unbelievable stuff. It's Cliffy. Cliffy's lost a few positions here. Has he lost a bit of his front wing as well? No, he hasn't. I thought he lost a bit of his front wing. But from that point of view there, Tim, we are missing some classic moments here. Too wide of Prime. Prime's made the move on the DRS straight here. And passing Moreno here in 4th place here, Tim. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you there, Tim.
Yeah, so Vulcanus Prime on those soft tires, moving through the field. Does he have a shot at Nightshades? So lap 32 of 36, I think he's got a shot at him. The question is, will he have enough time to get around him? He should, but with each passing lap, those soft tires are wearing thin. Of course, the hard tires the Nightshades is on is probably wearing thin by now as well after 20 laps on those tires. So we're going to wait and see what happens here. Of course, Vulcanus Prime is within the DRS range, so he will have DRS out of this next corner. So we're going to see how that plays out for him. A good entry there through by Nightshades, a good line from Vulcanus Prime as well, and Vulcanus Prime with the DRS and the slipstream as well. He is gaining on Nightshades. That's probably one of the best exits out of that corner that I have seen since Moreno a few laps ago. So fair play on Vulcanus Prime there for being able to get a good exit out of the corner and stay close to Nightshades. That DRS zone is not really one that you see a lot of passes happening, but it is a DRS zone that you can use to get closer, or at least stay close to the car in front of you. But going down the front straightaway now, Vulcanus Prime using the slipstream and DRS to his advantage to try to get to Nightshades, but not able to make a move just yet. Of course, a big lockup on Nightshades' part going through turn 1 was very difficult. Now going through this tight left-hander, another lockup from Nightshades, but of course that's to be expected at this point. Vulcanus Prime is only a 1/10 of a second behind Nightshades now as they enter Sector 2, but will he be able to do anything with it? He's going to get close, but when will he be able to make the move? But I don't think it's a matter of if now. It's just a matter of when. Vulcanus Prime is so very fast on these soft tires versus Nightshades on the hards. He's going to have a DRS zone once again once they come out of this corner, but will he be able to do anything with it? We're going to wait and see as they get out of this corner. A good exit from Prime, a good exit from Nightshades, slipstream from Prime on Nightshades. He will try to go on the inside, but not able to do it. He decided to back out.
Absolutely. Sorry about that, Tim. There was another battle galore there, which looked like Barca moved up to 6th place there. So we're going to have to watch this battle here as well. Will Prime get back into the 3rd place? We'll have to find out in a moment or two here as well. But still, Barca holding on here. But we've got the slipstream here to try and get onto the DRS straight here as well. Here we go again. Barca hold on here. It looks like Samu will have to try and defend here against Scott here for 7th place here as well. So let's see what they can try and do here as well. We're on lap 34, 36 of the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel and also like the video for all the live races here as well. But look at this, the two ASCARs who we mentioned earlier on here, Tim, that they battling out galore here during the race here tonight. And look at Scott here trying to make the move here on Samu here for 7th place here. Any mistake now, it feels like it's just being completely wasted here, Tim.
Yeah, it really does. And, you know, Samu, of course, we saw that he was sort of quick early on in the race, but it's like he's lost a little bit of speed, so now he's just battling it out for 7th with Scott. And both Haas cars just kind of running sort of nose to tail down that straightaway, but they're being very calm about it. You know, not really seeing a lot of issues there between the two. I haven't seen a lot of contact or really even a lot of racing between the two. So, so far so good between those two drivers. However, Vulcanus Prime is now actually losing ground to Nightshade. So I think that those soft tires have just about had met their match with Nightshade. So Vulcanus Prime is going to have to do a good bit of driving to get by Nightshades and into that final podium position. It is lap 35 of 36, so 2 laps remaining in this race. Aaron J. Spence 11 seconds ahead of Colin. So it is really, it's Aaron's races to lose at this point.
Absolutely, but can I just say, there was a safety car in the F4 League last night, and obviously with that gap, obviously we won't get the safety car now, but there was a massive gap there. Oh my days, Scott trying to make them look at a bit of a glance, trying to make the move on Samu there for 7th place here, but do not lose those positions massively there, because the gap doesn't mean anything at the moment unless, funny enough, we had no safety car, which I'm very surprised, because all the other leagues have had at least one safety car, but this one here tonight. It's been fair, respectful racing here. Aaron Dispenser has just done the final lap at the moment here, but Prime has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple points. So even if he went on to third, he will not get third place, depending on how Nightshades does it here, Tim.
Yeah, so Vulcan's Prime, the best he can do now is pretty much fourth place, so unfortunate for him. I don't believe that Nightshades has any time penalties, but of course we'll have to wait and see once they get back around, and that's not stopping Vulcanus Prime from at least trying to get by Nightshades, so we'll see what happens and how that battle ends up, even though it may not be beneficial for Vulcanus Prime at all because of the time penalty. But Aaron J. Spence is about to enter Sector 3. He has run a magnificent race today, and if he can get through these final two corners, he will be standing on the top spot of the podium, so congratulations to him.
Absolutely. Aaron J. Spence has done a magnificent job from start to finish here, and he's going to come up to the final bit now. We're just going to have to cross him there now, and he's absolutely delighted there. He has just won the Dutch Grand Prix. Congratulations to him there as well, so fair play to him on that. But we'll have to go back to the 7th and 8th place battle here as well. Colin EY2141 should cross over the line in second place as well, and then Nightshade should finish in third, depending on where Prime could there. Yellow flag set to 2. That might be Nitragash. There as well. Nightshade finishes in third. Moreno will finish in fourth. Barca will finish in fifth. Prime will finish in sixth. Samu finishes in seventh. Scott in eighth. Cliffy in ninth place. O'Stephen will finish in 10th place. Scope in 11th. Sab will finish in 12th place. Cryptox will finish in 13th place. Matty's already crossed the line. He was already a lap down. And also Nitragash will finish off in 14th place as well. And I'll tell you what, that is a cracker of a race. Whatever happens here tonight, and whatever happens here, it could be as one of the classics, because there was so many battles galore. We're trying to cover every single angle and every single battle we can get. And to be fair, it's just been immense stuff there. And well done, the game decides to pick driver of the day is Prime, obviously for the biggest moves of the race here tonight. So fair play to him as well. So yeah, fair play on that, Tim.
Yeah, fair play as well. Aaron J. Spence, of course, showing from the second qualifying session that he was incredibly fast, and he topped that off with a win here today. So that's going to be a good points day for him nonetheless. So I'm sure that he's going to be delighted once we get to the interviews. So just congratulations to all our podium finishers. Absolutely
fantastic stuff. So we're going to invite them in and hear their thoughts. While we went there, Finn says if it weren't for the wing damage, it would have been P3 today. Yeah, it would have been like to see what would happen there from your point of view if you didn't have that wing damage there. But nonetheless, wait and see what happens here. But here's your race classification for the Dutch Grand Prix for the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. You've got Aaron Spence in first, Colin EY in second with the fastest lap. With the fastest lap in second place. Nightshades in third. Moreno in fourth. Barca in fifth. Prime in sixth. Samu 7th. Scott in 8th. Cliffy 9th. O'Stephen 10th. Scope 11th. Sab 12th. Cryptox 13th. Nitragash 14th. Matty 15th. And the only one that had the DNF was Hailstone there as well. So we're going to try and invite the top 3 drivers here of Aaron J. Spence, Colin and also Nightshades for their thoughts of the top 3 finish in there. And Colin, who gambled, same with Cryptox, gambled for the 2-stop, and Matty gone for the 2-stop as well. So, but obviously with Colin joining in there as well. Mike says brilliant performance from Aaron, great stuff. It was a great battle there from Aaron J. Spence. I'm hoping he'll try and hear his thoughts, and also Colin's, and also Nightshades' his point of view there as well. Hopefully they'll join into the commentators box, but it'll be good to see how their thoughts was from the race itself. So Tim, we've got Nightshades just joining in now, so we'll just wait for Aaron and hopefully Colin for their thoughts of the race in a moment or two. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel for all the live races here as well. Hopefully we'll try and get them in as quickly as possible. But while we wait for Aaron J. Spencer and Colin EY, what's your thoughts of that race itself here, Tim?
I think that it was a magnificent race, and it was no shortage of action indeed. Differing pit strategies, of course, as we saw, but that's always good. Of course, Colin making it on the 2-stop, where most other drivers made it on a 1-stop. But that's what I like to see, is different strategies and racing to top it off. Absolutely.
It'd be good to see how they can try and keep that momentum going. But that's the first the first race in Zandvoort this week, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. We had no safety car, so fair, respectful driving for everyone here tonight. So yeah, Finn says, I think I'm 2 points behind Cliffy in the championship now, so that's nice. Well, yeah, fair dues, Finn, fair dues. For the guys who just joined in, can you please make sure allow voice to be shared is set to always allow? If you're not sure how to do it, go to the party settings, and there's an option called allow voice to be shared. Make sure it's set to always allow. So while the guys are set up and ready to go, I'll be talking to Aaron for his thoughts of winning the race here, and also Nightshade at the moment for third place. I'm not sure where Colin is at the moment, but he should be joining up in a moment. Just as I was speaking, Colin joins at that point. So, Colin, as I said, can you please make sure allow voice to be shared is set to always allow? If you're not sure how to do it, go to the party settings. And there's an option for allow voice to be shared. Make sure it's set to always allow. So, like I said, I'll be talking to Aaron T. Spence, then Colin, and then Nightshades for their top 3 finish tonight. Guys, are you all set, ready to go?
Yep.
Nice one. So Aaron J. Spence will be the first one, then Colin, and then Nightshades. Aaron, how you doing, mate? You alright?
Not bad, you alright?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's what a crack of a race from your side point of view. Where did that pace come from, considering where you were struggling at the pre-season or at the start of the game? Do you agree?
Yeah, to be fair, I just think this track kind of suits me. I just feel really fast there. I don't enjoy it at all, but even in F3 I just seem to have the pace around there and can set the car up perfectly.
Oh, okay, so it's one of those tracks where it's one of those drivers where you feel like, I don't like this track, but it suits them, and it perfectly happened there. But it looked like no one was going to try and beat you here tonight from that pace that you had tonight.
Yeah, I knew I had to pull out a DRS straight away because it's a DRS train here. As soon as you get stuck in it, you can't get out, so I just used all my battery on that one, tried to pull lead and maintain the gap.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you need to do as well, because there's so many galore that you have to try and push on as well. But from your point of view, you was hoping to get first place tonight, but looking at that, did you expect to get first after that pace that you had?
No, I had good pace yesterday in the equal, but obviously I hadn't done much practice in the racing point, but I knew I'd have some sort of pace, but I didn't expect that.
Fair dues, fair dues. But overall, Aaron, that was the best performance I've seen from you for a very long time, and considering you struggled at the start of the pre-season, that is still impressive stuff, considering you hit into round 3 at the Zandvoort track, the Dutch Grand Prix as well. Surely that should be a massive confidence boost for yourself, for the drivers in the table itself.
Yeah, I think it's more like the fact that I didn't get any penalties, I didn't make any mistakes or lose the back end of the car, which is more about confidence for me.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you need to keep that car consistent and try and do well here. So obviously we're at the Chinese Grand Prix next week, Shanghai. What's your quick expectations before we carry on?
It's going to be a tough one, obviously, with being reverse grid. Well, the Racing Point's got a good engine, but not great downforce. So as long as I find a good setup for the car, I think we should have an entertaining race. A lot of overtaking there, so it should be pretty fun.
Nice one, nice one. Aaron, you are a winner at the Dutch Grand Prix. Congratulations. You can stay if you want, or you can shoot off. It's up to you, but thank you very much for joining tonight, mate. Well done.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very
much. Colin EY, how you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm not bad, you?
Not too bad, not too bad. From your point of view, you went on to go on to do the 2-stop here from the top half, well, I said top half, the top 5, shall we say? did you was going for the two-stop to try and change things to stop Aaron J. Spence?
To be honest, I only did the two-stop because of how I didn't really like the hards yesterday in F3. I just didn't like them at all. I ended up losing. Didn't really have a good race after that point. So I just decided to do a two-stop. I'm happy to get second.
Fair dues, fair dues. Because me and Tim were thinking you was gambling for the... Well, I thought you would have gone for the hards for the one-stop, but you went on to the mediums and thought you was not going to last those medium tyres to the end. Especially when it was like about another 8 laps or something. So you had to pit for the softs, I believe. You had to make the move quickly, and did you feel like you nearly lost it a few times when you was trying bailing out to get back into the podium here tonight?
I thought, because I got out of Samu and I didn't get really, wasn't behind the train that Samu had. I thought I could. Now I'm comfortable. I was really comfortable to get second. I only had to get past 2 cars, and they were both on hards. Having the better, arguably one of the best cars on the grid and on the softs, I was quite confident that I can get past.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looked like it was, as you mentioned it there, I was about to say actually, you just got out of the pits where the trainer Samu there as well. Did you feel like if you was just behind there, you would have lost podium tonight?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Fair enough. But from the pace that you saw there as well, and I was saying to Aaron as well, did you feel like a podium was doable based on what you saw from your point of view, or did you feel like you was hoping for a top 5 finish tonight?
To be honest, I was hoping for any point because I've had an absolute shocking start to both equal and performance. I haven't finished it. This is the first race I've actually finished.
Fair enough.
I was just hoping to get any points. Because I was in a Red Bull, I was hoping I could get top 5 at least.
Fair dues, and it'd be good to see how you can try and go from right at the back to try and get into the top half of the points here at the Shanghai. So, congratulations on finishing second. You did a brilliant job as always, Colin. You can stay if you want, or you can shoot off. It's up to you. But thank you very much for joining tonight, mate. Brilliant stuff.
Cheers.
Nightshades, how you doing, mate? You all right?
How you doing, bud? You all right?
Not too bad. Tell us about your thoughts of your race overall.
Oh, again, another sweaty one. Different strategies, obviously. I think Howstone started P2 on the medium, so it was a bit of a struggle to get past him at the start. By then, I think Aaron was 4 seconds away at the front, and then coming through the field towards pitting, I pit 1 lap after Colin. I was going to pit that lap, but I don't know, I thought I'd go 1 more, then I see him pit, and I kind of regretted not pitting then. And then I messed up going into the pits on the lap just after, and I got a 5-second speeding penalty. So with Volcanus Prime, I think he was on the soft behind me in the other racing point towards the end.
Yes.
I really thought he was going to overtake me. He was gaining so much, but luckily I managed to keep him back.
That's what I wanted to talk about actually, the battle between yourself and Prime. Would you say that's the closest, or when I say closest battle, the most difficult battle you've had in this race itself?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like as well I think it was Owen Stephen in the Mercedes, the power on the straights just couldn't get past them no matter how close I was. And then as he kept putting pressure on me, I just didn't really want to make a mistake. So I'm kind of glad that didn't happen. But I thought he would have gotten me on penalties, but I believed he had a penalty too.
Correct, yes.
Sure what happened, so I was lucky to get away there. And I think the Renault M. Duran was only just 5 seconds out, so I've only just made it.
Yeah, I think he was just very, very lucky to hold on for 3rd place. But overall, Nightshades, that's still impressive stuff, again, from your point of view. So surely you've got some rocket fuel in your car, as always.
I wish I had it for F2, but I don't know, it's going well so far in the performance. So.
Yeah, but yeah, it's still... Overall, I'm impressed with your pace, impressed with your performance overall when you think about it, but from the driver's table perspective from your side, this is going to be a massive boost from your side point of view, isn't it, as well?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think in Austria I've spanned as well as Meg and teammate on and I managed just to recover to P8, I believe, or P9, so I've still got some good points there, but no, this third place is definitely a good amount of points to have.
Fair dues, Nightshades. From your point of view, obviously you're going to be right at the back or say right at the back, it's more about nearest the back of the reverse grid in the Chinese Grand Prix, so it's going to be very challenging for you to get even a top 8, top 7, possibly, if you play your cards right, possibly a safety car here and there, from your point
Especially
of view.
with the back straight, I think AlphaTauri's not got the best speed compared to other cars. So I think it'll all come down to the strategy and the safety car, and maybe even the weather. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. But Nightshades, well done for tonight for the third place, just by the nick on third place there. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of drinks afterwards with all this as well. So Nightshades, thank you very much for joining, and well done for third place. You can stay if you want, but you can shoot off, it's up to you, but thank you very much for joining tonight, mate. Well done.
Cheers guys, thanks.
Just like to say thank you to Aaron, Colin and Nightshades for their thoughts of the interviews for the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. And like I said, Tim has been an absolute legend as always in the comms box, so it'll be good to see him back in the Chinese Grand Prix. Are you there, Tim?
Yeah, I'm here, Malk, and it's been fun tonight. It's always good working with you, and you know, Zandvoort, it didn't disappoint. It just did not disappoint. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Brilliant stuff. And we're missing that theme park roller coaster until next season, all being well. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the next calendar for next season. I hope it does come back because it's an absolute legend track. Next week we're at the Chinese Grand Prix, the Shanghai, at the most famous track of them all as well. Don't ever forget, we're at the reverse grid, so there'll be no qualifying. We'll be going straight to the race in round 4 at the Chinese Grand Prix, so it'll be fantastic stuff there as well. Thank you to everyone that was watching the stream. For the last time, can you please make sure like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel for all the live races here as well. And I was your host, Malk, with Tim, the co-commentator, as always. Brilliant work as always. And we'll see you all next week at the glorious race of the Chinese Grand Prix. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye-bye.